Hi everyone, I'm Cognetta, founder of Sinful Scoops. Today what we're going to be doing is showing you how to make the basic custard batch for any sort of delicious ice cream you want to drum up at home. Since this is in the kitchen where we started the company, I figured this would be the best place to show it all to you. I'm just going to go ahead and put in 1 cup of the heavy cream. And this one actually, the general rule of thumb is that the higher the fat content, the creamier the consistency of the final mixture is going to be. So we're actually going to go ahead and we'll do 3 of this one. We'll make this one extra creamy for you guys at home. If you want to be health conscious, you can go ahead and tool around with the mixture as best you see fit. And then I'm going to use a little bit of 2% milk here as well, and we're going to toss this in the mixture. This is all part of the process of actually scalding the cream or the milk mixture. So along with the milk and the cream that we've put in so far, I'm going to go ahead and take my my half cup of sugar, and we're going to go ahead and put 3 of these in for a total of 1.5 cups total. So 1, 2, and 3. So now that we have all that in there mixed together, what we're going to do is I have the stove right now is set on very low heat, and we're going to go ahead and just kind of stir it gradually and continuously over the next couple of minutes. And what we're going to wait to do as I'm mixing this is you want to watch just the cream, and as you see steam start to rise off the top of it, that's when you know that you're getting to that point. You want to make sure that you want to just scald it a little bit. You don't want to burn or cook the milk. So that's what we're going to do for the next couple of minutes, just something to stir and just keep your eye on. So while that's simmering, and we're going to let that go for a little bit, again, just kind of continuously stirring in between, we're going to take 8 of these eggs, and we're going to go ahead and crack them, and we're going to use only the yolks. That'll again add to that creamy consistency that everyone really likes in that ice cream. We're just going to kind of go back and forth here, do it old school style until you just have just the yolk, and we'll put that in there, and we're going to go ahead and repeat that step 8 times. Once you have your eggs and your egg whites completely separate, you have the yolks and the egg whites completely separate, and to go ahead and take the 8 yolks here and just go ahead and start scrambling those. And you're going to want to just beat them a little bit till they're like nice, light, and fluffy. You'll start to see some air bubbles in them, and that's generally when you know that you're done. You can give it a rest. So right there, that's about where you want the mixture to be. You can kind of start to see that it's a little bit more liquidy now. All the yolks are completely broken up, and you have some air bubbles happening in there. Right now, as I'm checking this, I can see some of the steam starting to evaporate off, or you can kind of put your hand. If you can't see it, sometimes it's easier just to put, and you can kind of feel that it's all set there. You're going to just take the bowl that you have the yolks and everything already mixed in, and just for a second, lift it off the stove. And while whisking, now this is important because you don't want to end up with scrambled eggs. While whisking, you want to kind of gently pour what you have here. I would say maybe 2/3 of the entire mixture into the bowl, and just keep whisking away. And you'll see now it's a little bit more fluffy, a little bit lighter in color. I'm going to go ahead and pour it right back into the pot so it's all one big mixture again. So now we basically have everything that we need all here in the pot. As I'm mixing here, I'm just scraping along the bottom of the pot to make sure that there's really nothing building up or nothing getting stuck to the bottom of the pot. We've had this on the stove now for about 10-15 minutes, and it looks to me like it's just about ready. So what I was saying before is I think the easiest way to test is just take your index finger and you can kind of swipe it across that way, and the line kind of holds its place. So this is about ready. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take it and I'm just going to pour it directly into one of our mixing bowls here. A little bit of a thicker consistency. And because it was so warm on the stove before, we're going to want to let it cool. But before we do that, just take just a little bit of plastic wrap. We want to get just enough to go ahead and cover most of the bowl, and you can kind of let it droop in here. And what you want to do is you want to just let it touch the top of the custard. And what this will do is, as it's cooling, it'll prevent any sort of film from forming on the top of your mixture. And then you can just take it and set it in the fridge. And I would leave it there for probably around 2 hours or so. Now that our custard's been chilled in the fridge for a little while, we can go ahead and remove the saran wrap coating. Now what I have here is basically 2 cups of chocolate and cocoa that I've just reduced on the stove and basically have whisked it together. This is a little bit warmer again. You can let this chill if you'd like as well before it gets mixed in. Eventually we want the whole thing to get mixed in. We'll have our batch of about 2 quarts. So again, 2 cups here, and then we have the remaining balance of everything that we've done in the prior steps right here. So we're gonna go ahead and mix this in. And really just wanna kind of mix it all in, make sure that it's mixed thoroughly. Like so. This is something that's just made by Cuisinart, and something that you can pick up at like a Bed Bath & Beyond or something along those lines. It runs for, I believe it's around 60, 70 bucks. So it's very easily something that anyone, the do-it-yourself or someone who really likes to entertain or something, can go ahead and pick up. So I just wanted to show this for purposes of, you know, for the sake of when you're all home making this. But what I have here now is, so just to speed up the process a little bit, rather than waiting, I have a machine that's a little bit more advanced. Again, makes about the same amount of ice cream, and we're going to set the timer. We'll use the same exact size batch, and we'll put it in there, and we'll get churning. We're going to take the entire mixture, and we're going to pour it right into the machine. Learned a little trick: just pouring away from you always helps. Try and keep the mess to a minimum, although it's inevitable sometimes. And we'll set our timer to around 45 minutes. Put our top on. Okay, so our ice cream is done churning. If you take a quick look at the consistency, you'll notice that it's pretty smooth, creamy. There's none of that liquidy kind of substance that was in there before. And you can just scoop it right in to the jars. These are freezer safe as well, and it's always a fun thing for you to have at any sort of function, gathering, party, and it's always been a hit for us, and it's something that we really take pride in and enjoy doing. So when you get to about that level or so, maybe just give it a quick wipe around the edges, and then put the lid on. Put it in your freezer, and there you have it.